Good afternoon. Today we're going to work on some flame bluing. I'm not going to call it color case hardening because we're not really looking to make the material harder or change its properties. If we make it a little bit harder, that's great, but I'm more going for a finish than I am a function on this. So these ones are done. We're going to leave them the way they are. These ones we're going to do the entire thing, all of it, not just the tips. And depending on how these go, I might strip the paint off these because I'm really not happy with that paint finish. So I'm going to start by doing test pieces on mine off my 044, or my 44 Magnum, I mean. So that one's stripped, ready to go. And this one's in the vise. And what I'm going to try to do is I really want to try to get a consistent, not a consistent color of blue, but I don't want a ton of variation. I'm going for more of a rainbow effect than I am a solid color. But what I want to try to avoid is putting too much heat anywhere where it goes back to silver. So I'm just doing this with a map gas torch. I got my tripod set up. I'm going to show you guys kind of how I do it. This is just going to be a quick little video on how I'm going about this finish. And another thing I'm going to try different on this first test piece is I'm going to dunk it in clean new oil. Because when you used oil because it has a higher carbon content, so you'll get more carbon in your piece when you quench it in used oil. But I want to maintain as much as that vibrant color as I can. So I'm going to see what kind of results I can get with a map gas torch and clean oil. So off we go. I think I'm going to start at the back because it always gets blue towards the tip real quickly. I'm going to really try to take my time with this. Thinking it makes the most sense to start where the metal's the thickest. Where it's close and dipping in and out is the way to go. With that, I really like the purple. It goes purple, it goes kind of grass looking, then it goes purple, and it goes blue. It'd be nice if I could vary it between the purple and the blue. You know what I think would maybe work better is my oxy torch turned down low with my welding tip on it. I think I'm out of acetylene though. If I'm not out of acetylene, I'm very low on acetylene. I seem to recall having it in my head that I need to get more. I like what we're getting so. Oh, my apologies. That was a rookie move. I ran out of storage on my phone. I threw her in the oil. What I was going to say was I was curious to know what's going on with the backside of that thing because I'm only kind of monitoring one side. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't like how I'm not able to blue it by where I got it clamped. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a bolt on here that I can then put a nut on, and then another nut as a jam nut, and then I can set, you know what I mean? Kind of minimize that. So we'll try on the next piece and see how it goes. But first I'll pull this one out of the quench and see what we got. So this is what we got. This was the side that I was applying the heat to. I like that kind of purple. I think what I really liked though was this kind of area. So you can see where I went too far with the heat. It got a little, it went kind of, if once you go past blue, it goes back to whatever color the metal was, it would seem. But that's not bad. I'm into it. Like I said, I'm looking for more variation. I don't want just a solid blue. It's a little more solid than I like in this area. I don't mind this actually so much. Keep in mind I'm going for a finish more than I'm going for a function, right? And then the backside looks like this, which is interesting because I thought the backside might be wildly different, and it actually is almost exactly the same. A little more solid and consistent actually. I thought about putting it like this and putting it vertically when I put the heat, but I think the problem with that is that heat rises, and I think that's going to give me trouble controlling it. I think I get more control over it on the flat. So rather than do the bolt thing like I just said, I'm going to do the clamp in the vise and just clamp it on one of the holes. And I think I'm going to see if I have enough oxyacetylene to try the next one with oxyacetylene. So I'm going to set up the next one, try it with oxyacetylene, try to apply the heat in a more controlled and intense area in a smaller area. I think that map torch, it just blows the heat in too wide of an area for me to get too much like precision on it. So I'm going to try the oxyacetylene and see what that gets me, but I'm good enough with that. That's going to go on my saw just the way it is. So I'll set up the torch. We'll try a more, I guess I'll call it localized heating, and versus the map gas, which is just like a flamethrower. Unfortunately, I am 100% out of oxygen, and I have basically no acetylene. So we'll throw them in the truck and get them filled up and get some new bottles this week when I'm in the city. So we're going to proceed with the map gas method and see if I can get a little bit different results. Also, I'm orientating them on the side that I'm going to see. So if it is a little different on the back side, I'm watching the side that I'm going to be looking at. I know it. I'm going to try heating it in just localized places. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's pretty crazy how much even that C-clamp pulls the heat out of the material, and how much more you got to put it in that area to get it to turn. Just learned something. It keeps going after I pull the heat away a little bit longer than I was anticipating. But you know what? I like that finish. I think that's what we're gonna go with. I think if I work on it a little bit more. But I like the variation. I'm not, if you try to make it all one solid color, I think it'll be harder to achieve. Whereas if it's got kind of a rainbowy kind of look, yeah, that piece is still, I know what I need to do. I needed to get that in the quench quicker, and because it's still going right now as we speak. If you're hardening material, it's supposed to stay in the oil for a specified amount of time. Well, not specified, but overnight or an hour if you want to actually change the properties, from what I gather. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I just started looking into it recently. But like I said, we're going for more of a finish than we are a function here. So I'm going to let that sit in there for 5 minutes, pull it out, have a look. And if I like the way it looks, I'm going to do the other ones. There she be, fresh out of the oil. I stuck a magnet on the side of the pan so that it could hang there and drip for a bit. Just minimize. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wish I could live life in between the blue and purple the entire time, but it doesn't seem like I can control my heat enough to do that. But I like it. I like it. That's the other side. This will be the side that you see when it's on the saw. I think it's a cool finish. Relatively durable-ish. I don't think this would last very long in an environment if it wasn't always getting covered with oil. So if your saw gets out in the rain all the time, that's probably not going to be a thing that you're going to love. But yeah, I'm into it. It's going to look good on my saw, that's for sure. Especially with that stainless bar. Not that looks really matter, but if it can work good and look cool, why not? That is not bad. I'll run that. I'm into it. I'm curious to see how long it's going to hold up for and what's going to happen to it when it doesn't hold up anymore. So I just wiped the excess oil off. So the oil is going to stay on there and kind of protect it. But I kind of like it. Definitely doesn't show up on the phone the same way it does in real life, but that ain't bad. That's maybe the spot right there. Anyway, like I said, we're just going for a finish more than a function. Although I am currently looking into different ways to actually heat treat and harden these. And I'm also thinking about trying some stainless. That's another thing that stainless is a little harder, so that higher nickel content will make it stay sharp a little bit longer. Plus they won't rust, and I can still do the blue thing. So I think I'm gonna get me some stainless. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Just a quick little video on what we're up to. Yeah, I like it. I'm into it. I should throw the bar on there just so I see what it looks like with the bar. There you have it. That's what we're running. It's almost too much light. I'm holding a fluorescent light. Trying to find some better lighting in this unit. That's too much. It needs to be higher and further. Oh, that's a lot to hold on to. I must say, I am super stoked on these. Now, I touched this one up a little bit. I wire wheeled it off and did it again. It came off really easily with the wire wheel. So that tells me that this is not a durable finish. If you keep it oiled and it's not rubbing up against too much stuff constantly, I feel like it lasts a season. I don't know. We're going to find out. That's what I do know. But I'll tell you what, they sure look spicy. Look at that. We'll do the sweeping zoom. Get a good angle on these ones. Yeah, spicy. Have a great day, folks.